Welcome to the Tech Matchmaker, the show where contact center challenges meet their perfect tech match. I'm your host, Gina Gibson, and in just 15 minutes, we serve up the smartest, coolest innovations shaking up the contact center industry. Whether you're searching for your next solution or just love staying ahead of the curve, we've got the insights to keep you in the know. Let's dive in and discover what's next. I promise you, it's going to be fun. Hello, everybody. Today we are chatting with Dr. Hui Wu-Curtis, who is the CEO and founder of SupportU. And above that, she's an all-around female empowerment champion. So, Dr. Hui, welcome to the podcast, and I'm just thrilled that you're able to join us today.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I got invited to this. So thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And as I kind of said in our preamble, I really, before we get into anything, I just want to say, as a woman in the contact center industry, I want to thank you for all that you do to empower the women in our field and externally in our community. I see your mentorships and speaking engagement and with CC Women's. You do so much, and it's just so appreciated from the community that you show up, the way that you show up in the community for us. So thank you for that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you
Let's
for,
start
for
with the
recognizing
basics.
that.
Absolutely. How you do it all is beyond me. So tell us a little bit about yourself. So for those that didn't know all those great things that you do, tell us a little bit about yourself and your passions.
Yeah, I would say, like all of us, I didn't purposely choose contact centers, right? I just kind of accidentally fell into it. I think my first call center job, I lasted 4 whole months and I'm like, this is not for me. And then I had a chance a couple of years later to go back as a leader. I thought that's interesting. Like, how do we lead and develop people that are like tethered to the phones? And so, it was a great environment. I love the volatility of it. I love the challenge of it. And so, just over the years, several decades, continually work myself up. Learned as much as I could. Continue still to this day learn because there's so many things that continue to evolve. And then that kind of spun into me and my teams are doing some really cool things. And so we had opportunities to kind of share those stories, which started kind of my path down speaking at conferences and stuff to be really able to pay it forward. And then that kind of evolved into, I had like a little epiphany, I think, with every age group, like in your 20s, you just want to make enough money to survive. And 30s, you're a little bit more comfortable. And so now, like in my 50s, it's more about purpose and things that are meaningful in my life. And I think that's where my advocacy for, especially for women minorities, and mentorship kind of came into play.
Absolutely. And I remember, I think it was the first time we had lunch together, and you told me about your shift schedules and how you guys broke it up, which is just something so unique in the market. And I'll let you talk first of all, kind of explain what does support you do, and then maybe we can talk about what inspired you and how some of those great ideas that you have done make it easier for people to be employed in the contact center space as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, support you, it's interesting because there's like hundreds and thousands of outsourcing partners out there, of varying sizes and stuff. And I've had kind of the unique perspective of being on both ends. So as a client and on the brand side, I've used plenty of outsourcers throughout the globe. And there are always opportunities, right? In terms of how they interacted, how they managed the accounts, how they did operations. And so I just, through a series of circumstances and stuff, I thought, you know what? I think I can do this better. And so I decided to kind of go off on my own, create a woman owned, minority owned business. And it's kind of nice because we have a very different purpose. And so it's not just outsourcing. It was an opportunity to really create a company from the inside out. And what I mean by that is to have our employees at the center of all of our designs and all of our creations as we build out this company. And so a tech stack that we don't offer externally, it was just more internal. How do we make onboarding? How do we make the experience, our culture, and how do we make our employees more successful in their jobs by leveraging the technology out there?
Which is just it is so forward thinking too, right? As far as not thinking of putting the employee experience first, which I know has become a focus in more so in the last, maybe year and a half, but you guys have been around more than a year and a half, and to actually build a company with that as your main focus, definitely one of your differentiators. And you mentioned it, the BPO space is kind of busy or clogged, what are some of the other things that you guys do to separate yourselves and differentiate yourself from others out in the market?
Yeah, I think that's always kind of a unique question, right? Because when you kind of put in all the marketing buzzwords, not a lot kind of differentiates us. And I really do believe that it's the makeup of the people that differentiates us because they can't replicate the people and the talent. And so part of it is having a very involved founder. And so I inherently understand all aspects of operations. And so I don't take the responsibility of representing companies lightly. And so when they give us the opportunity to support them, whether it's in customer service or tech support or sales, we take it very personally because I know that it takes a lot of trust to allow an
Yeah.
organization to do that. Right.
Share a success story of one of the, customers that you have. You don't have to name names or anything, but just share a success story with us that you guys are proud of as a company.
Yeah, I would say, we have a center in Ethiopia. Not many organizations are out in Ethiopia. It's a brand new market, right? And for us, one of our biggest kind of objectives is really impact sourcing. And so we really believe in going into other countries where they have like high unemployment for like their youths or certain kind of demographics of their population and stuff, and identifying those regions that have really great talent. They just don't have a lot of opportunities and being able to provide employment opportunities for them. And we pay higher than market. And so it fundamentally changes their entire lives, right? To be able to be fully employed. And so as a success story, we worked with this healthcare group. And again, it was a huge leap of faith because nobody's been successful in that healthcare niche in terms of customer service and creating appointments and stuff. And so we told them we would do a free 30-day pilot for them so we can prove ourselves. And they were blown away. We didn't have attrition. And pretty soon the practice, we were augmenting their staffing about, I would say 33% of their staff. Well, the team did so well that within, I would say 90 days, we took over everything. They just gave us kind of the whole contact center element.
That's fantastic. And, with our industry, you're right, like, Ethiopia is not one that is very common, so that you're hearing of. But with our industry, of course, everybody's talking about AI. I'd love to get your thoughts on with AI and automation, how do you see that impacting, like, not just BPOs, but how do you see, like, the human role evolving kind of alongside with the tools?
Yeah. I think that's always kind of an interesting balance, right? And people think, you implement AI in an operations, you kind of flip a switch and it works. Not quite
Yeah,
easy. There's a lot of prep work, right? And of course, the threat of whenever it takes jobs. So, like, AI can do very simple tasks, but it still takes a human being, to validate it and to continue to train the AI. So, I think what it does is really kind of shifts the skill sets and the demands of that employee and it upskills them. So now it doesn't mean their job goes away. It just means that their job now evolves into something different. And so we're not afraid of augmenting staffing with technology. And so our purpose is as long as we add great insights and value to the clients to where now we give them usable data to be able to drive their business forward and to do things better.
and I always like to ask founders, if you could go back, and do anything differently, like what's one piece of advice you'd give yourself before you started this company? If
Oh
you
gosh.
if you knew now or knew then what you know now.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I had an opportunity to work with a partner, and for a variety of different reasons, it didn't work out. And so now it's just me, really kind of calling a lot of the kind of the operational and kind of the strategic pieces of it and stuff. And I realized over like a little over a year alone as the CEO, and of course I have counterparts and stuff too. I don't do well being alone. Like, I like having a partnership, and so that kind of evolved into doing a joint venture with my partner today, and so I think that's the one piece, which is understand, identify, and know more about yourself and what you love doing, and make sure that things are aligned with that. Like, could I teach myself, like, the financial parts to do that? Yeah, I've done it for many years and decades, but I don't like it,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
that's a great insight. Absolutely great insight. And to wrap things, I've always been a fan of James Lipton and his quick fire rapid fires. So to end the podcast, we do a few little rapid fires. So, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word, opportunity.
And what's your least favorite word?
Failure,
And what excites you the most?
the ability to work with people. I think the, human potential is remarkable. And if given opportunities, people will always surprise you.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Wei, is there anything else you'd like our audience to listen or our listeners to know about Support You before we sign off?
Yeah, I would say, you know what, we're in a unique position where a majority of our leadership team and our executives have been on both sides, right? And so they are keenly aware of the kind of the unique differences. And what we did was we took all of our pain points and we just kind of flipped the script to make sure that we never cause those same pain points to our clients. And so I think that's a very unique perspective because we're very vetted into the business. I don't use buzzwords like, we're your strategic partners and all that stuff. It's like, no, you'll just feel it. You'll feel it and you'll see it in the results.
I love that. And if somebody wants more information on using Support You, who should they call?
Yeah, I would say come directly to me. Like I said, I'm more than happy to have conversations about it. Our website is supportusolutions.com. And or they can reach out to you, Gina. You and I have known each other for years, and yeah, we serve as great resources to one another.
Absolutely. Dr. Wei, I just want to thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your insights, both personally and professionally. And it's always wonderful having industry titans like yourself join us. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Tech Matchmaker. I hope today's spotlight sparks some fresh ideas and real solutions for your contact center. Want to dive deeper into the tech we featured? Hit up the show notes for all the links and extras, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if there's a challenge you want us to tackle, don't be shy, reach out. I'll catch you soon with more innovation, more use cases, and more ways to keep your business moving forward. Stay curious, stay bold, and keep exploring what's next.